Hey, how y'all doing out there? I am coming to you guys live with just some things that's been on my mind and hoping we can conjure up a conversation about what's taking place right now in society, in the world, actually. I'm home, well, close to home, at a park near my home. I'll show you guys. I'll turn this around real quick and show you guys where I am so you can get a feel. This is a small park near where I live, and I just came out to just get some fresh air, you know. So this whole quarantine scenario is definitely affecting me as well. So, hey Patrick, hopefully you can join in on the discussion, as I just wanted to come. There's been a lot, of course, you know, you guys know it's a lot going on right now out here. And just wanted to talk about it a little bit, of some of the things that's been on my mind about it. And I labeled this live mental quarantine because that's what I'm seeing a lot of as of late. How we've actually quarantining ourselves mentally by just being frantic. A lot of us are being frantic, and we're getting a lot of information from a whole lot of different sources. The rumor mill is on fire right now. There's a lot of people just, sharing their hunches and what they think and their gut feelings with no concrete evidence to prove their claims, and how all that affects us mentally. And chime in, family, because I do want this to be a conversation. I don't want you guys to just be just hearing, just my side of the perspective. I want some other folks to join in. Mainstream media's job is to promote hype. That's how they get ratings. That's how they get you to tune in, is to sensationalize the story. When they go to journalism school and things like that, that's what they're taught to do. So we got to be extra careful, extra vigilant not to get caught up in the sensationalism. I'm not saying that this scenario is not a serious matter. Please don't get me wrong. People are dying, but I think what we tend to do is not put things in their proper perspective enough to be able to understand clearly, so we won't get caught up in the hype, and we can maneuver intelligently through crisis. There is such a thing. So my suggestion would be, hey Malik Zulu Warrior, hey Cynthia, thank you guys for chiming in. My suggestion would be to not feed the media your brain cells. Know what's going on, absolutely. You got to know what's going on so you'll know how to maneuver. But I think what we tend to do is completely just absorbed into every facet and aspect of what's being told to us, and that can cause you to become frightened because people are the helter-skelter and scary, and oh my God, the sky is falling. So just be careful, family, how you maneuver through that mainstream media. Jabal says, when something is a novel virus, it means no human, let's see, let me get back to you. No human had it. The previous coronavirus was only in pets and animals. Online people are claiming cures already. And that's my point about so many different theories are currently going on. I don't have all the answers. I do not know how this virus got started. You know, I don't, because I'll be the first and quick to say, when I don't know, I don't know. And we have a tendency to have a problem with those three words. I don't know. And so what we do is we conjure up all these scenarios in our minds as to what's going on, and then it becomes 1,000 different scenarios out there when nobody really knows. You don't know for absolute certainty how this virus got started. You can assume, you can have all the theories in the world, but for real, the reality is we don't know. We don't know, and that's the truth. And so let's just stick to what we do know. And I think what happens is when we start sharing all our hunches and all our theories and things like that, then we cause confusion. Then there's confusion throughout, because now, I've heard it could be this, I heard it could be that, I heard it could be this. And now the people who are actually out here looking for concrete truth to stand on, you know what I'm saying, so they can be assured, they don't have that, because everybody and their mama got a theory. So I would just say, be careful sharing your hunches. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have absolute evidence to back up your claims right now, I think the best thing to do would be to just hold back and just observe and feel what's going on, and not be so quick to believe that you know and you have all the answers, because none of us do. None of us do. This thing is new. In all our lifetime, we've never had a scenario like this before. This is new for all of us. So, it's a new scenario. So how do you all of a sudden know exactly what's going on and how it's going to end and how it's going to, be? We should be careful with that. We should not, especially those who have platforms out here with large people who follow their platforms and hang on to their words. And right now you want to assure people. You don't want to confuse them. So be careful with that. 5G, family. There is some information coming out about actually in another country. They actually banned 5G. I'm trying to remember what country it was, and if somebody do know, let me know out there, family, so we can share the proper information. But there was a country that actually banned 5G altogether. They were the first ones to do it. They took it to court, and they found that there was some serious concerns about this new technology. And they didn't want it. They didn't want it around. And there are videos and YouTube videos that people are showing in different societies, I think over in Sweden and things like that, where they show where trees near these new 5G towers are up. And now the tree next to it, the tree that's close, the side of the tree that's on the side where the tower is, there's no leaves. And then on the other side of the tree is green and beautiful. And so they're showing, and this is more than one incident. So they're showing how these 5G waves are real dangerous. They're real dangerous too. They're birds dropping out of the sky in a whole bunch of numbers, and people can't figure out why, things like that. And so just be careful about this whole 5G technology. There was like over 100 scientists that signed this petition and took it to Congress and saying that, that they thought that this 5G was really dangerous for us. So be careful about 5G out there as well. It's important to stay calm. Stay calm. This is why I come to do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not near anybody. For those of you who be like, why you ain't in the house quarantined? Well, there's nobody near me. So, and I just like to take a walk and to clear my head and to get some fresh air and to meditate. You know what I'm saying? And so, it helps to keep your levels calm. It's important to stay centered at a time like this. It's very important. Because it's easy to get off-centered, especially mentally. Again, the mental quarantine, because we're creatures of habit, and right now we're outside of our normal routines. And that can cause us to become uncomfortable. And tack on top of that a scenario where they're telling you that you could die if you don't stay in the house and you don't stay away from people. You could catch a disease that's killing folks. That's scary for people. That's scary. And I think that's why it's so important to be informed, get the right information so you will understand properly. So that alleviates a lot of the fear. Mike, I love the title, Understand What It Embodies, Scare the Sheep Continue to Follow. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Cynthia, let the truth be spoken. Yeah, real talk. I just, wanted to mention too about the rumor spreading, because that's big right now. I think that doesn't help family. That causes us to be more afraid, more frightened, more frigid. So you don't want to don't scare people on purpose. And just, if you don't know, you don't know. It's okay to say that. It is quite all right to say that. And actually, when you do get in a habit of saying that enough, the truth and the answers start to come, because you're open to finding the solutions as opposed to holding strong to your conviction of this is what it is. No, this is what it is, because this has to be what it is, and you're not open to any other alternatives. And you could be dead wrong, as opposed to saying, you know what, I don't know. But the truth always prevails. Always. The truth will reveal itself. And so just be patient enough and to gather enough information from reputable sources and things, strong evidence that you can hold tight to, and be like, you know what, okay, well, this is the thing that makes the most sense. But you can't come to that conclusion if you jumping on theories and accusations and, the first thing that come around. So be patient. The bigger picture is that the vast majority of people who come down with this virus are healed. The body heals itself, because they don't have a cure. So the body heals you when the 9 out of 10, actually 9.8 out of 10 people who come down with this virus are cured. So that's the bigger picture. So when you understand it in that aspect, again, that kind of alleviates a lot of the worry and a lot of the concerns and the stresses that you would normally have if you don't have that type of information. So of course you want to take precautions, because there is that small percentage of people who are dying. You want to take them precautions. We know that the vast majority of that 0.2% of the people who are meeting fatality over this thing are the elders. So we want to make special precautions to them. Ken says, as of December, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Taiwan, and the U.S. have decided to ban and phase out companies' products with their mobile networks. Meanwhile, the UK has banned the company from contributing core parts to 5G technology, cutting Huawei's share in the country's new network to 35%. Okay, I'm unfamiliar with any of that. If you could share that information with me, Ken, I'd appreciate it. Where you got that information? So you're saying they're all banning the face, because from what I understand, Wuhan has come out with 5G about 6 months ago. That's where the epicenter of the 5G started, in China, in Wuhan, and all of a sudden, now keep in mind, family, it takes a while for these viruses to spread. It wasn't like one day somebody caught the virus and the next day it was all over the news that there was an epidemic. No, it takes a while. It takes a while for so many people to catch it. They looking in the hospitals and everything else, looking like, what's going on here? There's a lot of people with this strain that we don't know what's going on. So it takes a while for this thing to start, for people to get their eyes on it. So they're saying this 5G came out in Wuhan about 6 months ago. And now here we are, You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me make that clear. I don't have the answers. I'm not 100% sure that the 5G is behind all of this. I don't know, but it's an interesting something to consider, Ken. So I just want us to get our heads level. That's all. That's the main purpose for this video here, and to remain level-headed, and to don't forget to meditate. Don't forget to, clear your head every day, because it's so much right now that we're thinking about, and we got to reconsider, and we got to, all that. So it's best to just take some moments throughout the day to just think about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Think about nothing. Maybe put on a really nice music or a song or whatever. Even if it's just 5 minutes, make sure you get that in, because it's important. It's important to stay level-headed. You know what I'm saying? This is where people can lose logic. You know what I'm saying? Logic in these times. The grocery stores are all, empty shelves, and people, what I'm saying? It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. So I would advise to tune into the natural healers. Tune into them, family. Where do you think, where all of these labs right now that's racing around the clock trying to find a serum to cure this corona, where do you think these ingredients are coming from that they're using? They're coming from Mother Earth. They may pull them and put, metals and all these other things to them, and to create, something other than its natural form. But the basis of all of these medications are coming from Mother Earth. So why not go straight to the source? You know what I'm saying? Why not go straight to the source and get what the nature has already offered us for free? And there are people out here that are gifted in the form of healing naturally. Just like some people can sing as beautiful as a Whitney Houston and others can't. Or some people can draw, as beautiful as a lot of these artists out here. And some people like me can't even draw a stick man. There are people who are naturally gifted to understand, like a Dr. Sebi and people like him, and can understand what and concoct things from the earth in order to cure us. They're here. They're among us. They never went anywhere. They've been here since the beginning of time. But what we've done is we've conditioned our minds to believe that the pharmaceutical industry has all the answers and has all the cures. And this is not true. It's not true. They actually go and get the same things that our root doctors get, but they take them and they concoct them in a lab to suit the fancy enough to be able to 9 times out of 10 make a profit off of it. So go to the source. They'll go to the natural healers in your community, in your areas. If you're not sure who they are, go on the Facebook of those that you know who dip and dab in that lifestyle, and ask them who would they recommend that you talk to about certain things that's going on, ailments and things like that. Let's get back to Mother Nature. Let's get back. Let's stop feeding the beast. You know what I'm saying? Feeding the industry. That's killing us in the grand scheme of things. You know what I'm saying? Yes, modern medicine does save lives in ways, but yes, modern medicine is killing us with side effects and all the things like that. We take one medication and next thing you know, your liver's failing. You know what I'm saying? Versus going straight to Mother Earth and getting the pure herb that you need to cure whatever ailment you had with no side effects. Okay? So the solutions are out here. The serum is right under our feet. You know what I'm saying? Right above our heads in the trees. So we got to know this. Sugar. Whew, I had to learn this one the hard way. Sugar is a no-no, especially right about now. And you will understand how addictive sugar is if you just try to stop it. Just try to stop eating sugar for 24, 48 hours. And you know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about just putting down a cookie or some ice cream or putting down a donut. No, I'm talking about spaghetti, in the pasta, sugar, and sugar is in everything. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, of course you not want to do it in such large doses right now, because sugar will affect your immune system. It breaks down your immune system. You ever ate a large meal in the middle of the day and immediately after you feel like going to sleep? That is because your immune system is shutting down. You know what I'm saying? Your immune system is fighting all those ingredients that you just put inside of it. And it needs all, and it's zapping you of all your strength. So you got to fall asleep in order the body to fight back with what all the poisons that's just entered its stream. So be careful with the sugar. That's a big one right now. And I'm still working on me. You know, I'm preaching to myself here too. You know, I don't do straight sugar, which I call straight sugar, like sodas and juices and cookies and ice cream and things like that. But, you know, I do eat pasta, and I do things like that where sugar is still in it. So, and it is addictive. It is addictive. So be careful with the children too, feeding them a whole bunch of sugar. What I've grown into doing is drinking a lot of smoothies. So, you know, just to get my greens and vegetables and fruits and stuff in. So I'll make something, you know, not every day. You know, I'll make probably a smoothie that'll last me for 2 days. And I may do that maybe once, maybe twice a week. But I know when doing that, I'm getting all my ingredients in at one time. You know, all my greens and my herbs. And that's the beautiful thing about juicing or making smoothies, is that you could just throw all that stuff in versus you kind of like, you know, eating it individually. You could throw all the greens, all the herbs, you know what I'm saying, your fruits, all that stuff in at one time. Your black seed oils and my chia seeds and all that stuff. I put what is it now? The other thing right now that's popular, that come from the ocean, sea moss, all that stuff you can dump right in your smoothie at one time and get all your nutrients at one time. So, I would recommend that. It's been helping me good, keeping my energy level up. It's just my exercise. I got to do a lot more of that, because with the jewelry thing, I'm at a standstill a lot and I don't get a lot of movement. So I've been making a habit of coming out here and just daily doing a walk. And that's my exercise. But I know exercise too will help boost your immune system. Hey Don, yeah, meditate for sure. Roland Martin Unfiltered did an excellent piece on this virus in China. I'll look for it on YouTube and share. Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, again, just our reputable folks. You be careful with feeding your mind with every Tom, Dick, and Harry out here that's giving you advice and telling you what's going on. And, the next thing you know, you in a ball of confusion. Hey, Haki. Antoinette St. Clair and Bowie is a good with assessing one's blood. Yes, and Haki is really good too at tuned in. Haki knows a lot of the key players in our community, so you might want to tune into him too. Thank you, Haki, for that advice. Saladin says sugar is deadly to our health. It is. It's a drug, family. It's a drug. When you think about, like, I noticed, one of the things I noticed when I stopped eating a whole lot of straight sugar, I didn't have so much grit on my teeth anymore, and I started to think about that. I was like, sugar, that's like the main reason why you need cavity. You got to go get cavities filled, and you got to go to the dentist for all this plaque buildup and all that kind of stuff. Sugar, it will rot and eat away your teeth. So imagine what it would do to the insides of your body. So be careful. Detox tea, Haki say. Yeah, I agree. Detox is good. Know your numbers, get your blood checks. And these are some of the things we should be doing anyway. And we've been hearing that a lot, washing your hands and, just being mindful, not being near other people if you feel sick, things like that. But we just take it for granted. until something like this comes along. Patrick says, hopefully that we're able to do the upcoming show. Yes, we will, Patrick. I'm looking forward to doing the show with you. Gonna be very interesting and powerful conversation amid all these dynamics. Yes, Patrick Alexander is another powerful figure, family. I would advise you guys to go ahead and jump on his page and follow what he's doing down there in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken. You know, they got farmland. They you know what I'm saying? They strong. They doing their thing down there. Educating the people. So tune in to Patrick, because he got a lot of great knowledge to share. Kemet, both the electronic and print media has injected within the intellect of today's masses that healing comes from those with these degrees. And yet Harvard sends groups to Africa each year to gather the importance of plants and herbs from the African, then return and place it in synthetic form, which is why all of them have side effects, because it's not natural. Ashe, I'm a love thumbs up, Kemet, for that one. Yeah, that's real. Where do you think they get this information from? And a lot of things, what we doing, family, is we are actually following behind the children of the earth. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. The European is the last one to enter the earth as far as in the form of a human being. So it's been about 6,000 years, and their anthropologists, I think I'm saying that right, will tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas black people been around forever. We don't have a birth date. So where do you think they get all their information from? So if you got a child, you know what I'm saying, the child has to learn from his parents or learn from those who came before them. You know what I'm saying? So we are the ones who came before them. So we are the root of the information, of the knowledge, of the wisdom, of the understanding of how this world operates. And that's why they still exploring and experimenting and, you know what I'm saying, discovering and doing all these things. They still doing this to this day because they don't have all the answers. And we follow behind them, you know what I'm saying, as if they do, without understanding that, you know what I'm saying, we are the ones with the higher knowledge and the higher wisdom, and we have to know this. You know what I'm saying? We have to believe this. We have to tune in. You know what I'm saying? The information, it's still there. You know what I'm saying? It's just overclouded right now. Why? It's overclouded because we are tuned in, and our frequencies are tuned in to those who are steering us in the wrong direction. That's just real, deal Holyfield. So we're so tuned in there that we can't even we can't even understand or get the proper knowledge and the proper wisdom and understanding. So we got to change our frequencies. We ain't nothing but energy, tune, frequencies. You know what I'm saying? All that is just energy terminology, because that's what we are. We're energy in human form. The TV, another frequency. Telecommunication. You know what I'm saying? So it's another frequency that, again, that's why I say, you know, be careful with what you allow into your brain. You know what I'm saying? Because their job is to sensationalize everything. So when you really understand, again, that the vast, overwhelming, vast majority, you'll more likely to win the lotto than to catch a coronavirus and die. Okay? So when you understand it in that aspect, you know what I'm saying, you don't get so frenzied and chaotic about the situation. So watch what that TV's feeding you, and watch what you allowing it to enter, into your brain. And the children, because we scared of children too. Can you imagine? You guys can remember when you were young, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, and how the littlest of thing, how it would affect you emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, say, your anything, your mother got into an argument with somebody, and you scared out your wits, you know what I'm saying, as a little baby, because you know, helpless. You don't know what's going on. You don't know. You just know that there's a frantic situation. So I'm saying all this to say that our emotions, like when we're children, it's like the children don't have the filters that we have as an adult to be able to discipline their emotions in a way that they won't get so scared and so frightened. Like, think about, like, I was talking to a friend the other day about the bunny man. If you guys are in the DMV area and are my age, I'm 47. If y'all in my age and you remember, there at one point there was a bunny man and it was so scary, and all the children, I remember I was telling a story where I was like in the first grade and my teacher had gave me a permission slip to go to the office to get something for her. And I had to go by myself, but I was scared that the bunny man was in the hallway, and how scared I was. I was scared, frightened. I was so scared to walk that hallway. So the children, keep in mind that the children have these fears, and their fears are 10 times greater than ours is. So be careful what we're feeding them. Make sure we talk to them about what's going on. Make sure we get how they feeling. You know what I'm saying? Allow them to tell us how they feel, and let's reassure them that everything is going to be okay, because it can be trauma. It can be a lot of trauma for the children right now. So make sure we protecting their hearts and minds by, you know, calming them and soothing them and reassuring them that everything is going to be okay. And this is an excellent opportunity to teach the children the knowledge of self. Excellent. They're home. You know, that was just, well, there's a school right behind me. And as I was walking, I was like, wow, I got to thinking, I was like, wow, any other time they'd be out on recess, I would hear the laughter of children running around and playing, but shut down. Children ain't there. They at home. So this is an excellent time to teach them, you know, get them into the same routine. Don't break their routine. If they're used to learning around this time of the day, teach them, educate them, but give them the information that these schools not. These schools ain't going to give them the knowledge of themselves, not the deep-rooted knowledge of themselves. So, you know what I'm saying? This is a prime opportunity to instill in them some information that will assist them along in life forever, for the rest of their lives. So, yeah, seize the opportunity to teach the children. Growing the food, that's my last thing on my list, right? I'm taking this opportunity. I've been saying this for a couple years now, but I'm going to do it. This is a certainty at this point to start my garden. You know, it's no more excuses, family. We see the writing on the wall. We see how, you know what I'm saying, we depend so much on other people for our basic needs, for our food, our clothing, and our shelter. You know, of course, in life, you know, there are some dependencies that we can't get away from. We're communal people, and so we rely on each other, you know, for different things in life. But when you can't get a basic need in life, like food, because the grocery stores are all out, that's a problem. That's a problem. There's something wrong there, and we have the power to correct these wrongs. We don't have to just be sitting around like ducks waiting for and starving to death literally, when the ground beneath our feet have the capability to give us, again, back to nature, everything we ever need to survive in life. There's no excuse. So for me, what I plan to do is, and this is the perfect time, here comes spring, you know, and here is the beginning of the planting season. Even if you're growing tomatoes in your apartment, you know what I'm saying? Do that, you know, do that. This is becoming vital. This is, you know, it's no longer a luxury. This is a vital lifeline to be able to provide for yourself and feed your family without having to go to a grocery store to do it. with no guarantees. There's no guarantees in life. This should prove this to all of us. Ain't no good government job. Ain't no guarantee tomorrow gonna be here. Ain't no guarantee of nothing, really. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta be able to be self-sufficient and provide for ourselves. James says glutamate, which we see monosodium glutamate, is a stronger fuel for cancer than sugar. The gluten. With being said, these are the side effects: nausea, vomiting, stomach pains, gas, swelling. Trying to see, a lot of more other things. So you're saying the gluten-free lifestyle is the way to go? Okay. Hey, Alfie, Leroy. I'm trying to get everybody's information in if you guys had anything else to say. Never saw, but we was always on the lookout. Fear. Not sure where that came from, but yes. How can you expect the people that don't like you to feed you? Ashe, James. Ashe. Yeah, and we got history. We got history to prove our relationship in this society. And we forget easily, and we trust far too easily. You know what I'm saying? And our great grandparents and ancestors, a lot of them perished by the hands of our open enemies. And those people, and I can hear some of you out there now say, oh yeah, well, but that was then. People change, people personalities change, My father used to tell me I was just like my grandmother. I ain't never met her a day in my life. She passed on before I was born. But he and my aunt used to say I was a true marshal. That was the mate, my father's mate, not maiden, but his name before he changed it to Malik. And they used to tell me that all the time. You just like your grandmother. So I say that to say we pass our spirit. The spirit passes along the lineage, down the line. You know what I'm saying? So if we think that the people who mistreated us was only back in slavery and that was then, well, they have their lineage. Their lineage carries on. And those same spirits come over to the next generation and the next generation, and here we are. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be so naive enough to not understand that we got a formidable enemy out here that, like James said, don't like you. In fact, they hate your guts. You know what I'm saying? And we can't be so naive to maneuver through this world to not understand that everything in nature has an opposing force. Everything in nature, that's the yin and the yang. That's the up and the down. That's the sun and the moon. You know what I'm saying? So we are part of nature. We have an opposing force too. And if we keep denying that and turning our eyes to that and putting our heads in the sand to that, we will continue to die out here. And not only that, our children will too. So we gotta be informed, and we gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just that's why I say let's feed ourselves, because there's people out here that want to see you out of here, wiped out. They feel better about themselves when you are not even here. So when you understand it in that aspect, you protect yourself. You protect yourself against them forces. That's self-preservation. That's the first law of nature, is to protect your being and to survive and to live out here, and definitely protect the children. So if you going and letting your children be fed by people that hate them, and be educated by people who hate them and want to see them dumb, you know what I'm saying? What are that saying? That's whose fault is that? You know? So we got to be vigilant out here. Hey, Mustafa. Hey, Rhonda. Yes, we do have the power, Janetta. And I think that's another thing that we lose. I think, personally speaking, that we lose sight of, is that we give this beast too much power over us. You know, they're going to do this to us. Or, oh my God, they're going to kill us all. Or, oh my God. No, you got the power to stop that. You do. And if you believe that you don't, you won't. So, you know what I'm saying? Again, I just got finished sharing how we are the original people. We were made in God's image and likeness. When God said he was going to create man in his own image and likeness, and we are the original people, then then we are in his image and likeness. So we have the power of God vested in us. And but we got to believe that and know that and walk with that, because if not, we'll fall victim to the beast. And whatever the beast say, we gonna go with that, because a lot of us really have more faith in this beast than we do in the creator of all things good. Because we give up with the hope thing. Oh, we all just stupid, or we ain't never gonna get nowhere, or we ain't never gonna be able to do this, or we ain't da 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 da. You feed enough into those kind of thoughts, and that will be your reality. You gotta know that you are the greatest force on earth. That nothing on earth can withstand your power and might when you really put your mind and force to it. And we prove that just by physicality. You know what I'm saying? Toe to toe. Everything, all else being equal. My dad used to say, when given an equal playing field, we don't prove that we just as good. We prove that we better. And that's real. And get used to that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are even uncomfortable with their own greatness. We prove that we better in every way. Put us on a basketball court. Put us on a golf court. Put us in technology, any of that. The issue is we don't believe that because we're not given an equal playing field. You know what I'm saying? There's powerful forces out here that their job is to keep their foot in our neck, because they understand us better than we understand ourselves. So they know if we give it an equal playing field that we taking over, and they don't want that. They don't want to lose their power and control to you. You know what I'm saying? So they do everything in their humanly power to make sure that you don't get an equal playing field. You know what I'm saying? But it's our job to fight against that, to work around that, to push through that. And we can, but we got to believe that about ourselves. We got to believe that we are the most powerful force on earth. And we got to walk in that. Kemet, regrettably, we've allowed ourselves to become tourists of our own historical achievements. That's a powerful point. This is why other ethnic groups have no fear in injecting themselves into an era they have absolutely no that they inject themselves into an era where they have absolutely no involvement. I think I'm trying to read it. Okay. Descendants of Arabs now have manipulated the global community that they are Egyptian. The Dutch now call themselves Australian, and Europeans now call themselves Jews. Knowledge of self makes you aware of these things. This is what we must give to our youth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's the most powerful thing that we can get right now, is understanding, which comes from the knowledge of who you are. We really don't. We don't know who we are for real, for real. Not for real, because if we did, we wouldn't be in this predicament. If we did, we would not be depending on somebody else to give us water to drink and to give us foods to eat and the jobs to go, you know what I'm saying, and go to their jobs. We actually, right now, to college, we're paying for jobs. I've thought about that, but I was like, when do we get to a point where we go to school, college, a 4-year institution, and pay out of the yin-yang to go and apply for a job? I thought knowledge was college was to gain knowledge so you can navigate this world with a better understanding of who you are. But we go to school to pay for jobs. It's real. It's real deal Holyfield. It's a shift. It's a mental shift that must take place. It really does. Because we have to get back to the source of who we are, the root, the balance, the nature. You know what I'm saying? Because right now we following behind the people who are leading us astray. Farming is a must for everyone, Kemet says. Salute, Mustafa. Hey, Hario, PJ, Rhonda. Rhonda says, white people haven't changed for 400 plus years. They ain't changed now, and we should not die trying to find out. Yeah. And our children, I'll always want to reiterate that. This ain't about just us. Our children are coming behind us, and we leaving this to them. You know what I'm saying? So, we gotta do better. Derek says, I grew up eating food from the garden, so there should be no excuse for me. Yeah. Hey, Shanti. Mustafa, power my yard yesterday. Yes, it's your power in the ground. The power is in the earth. The power is in the soil. You know what I'm saying? Again, energy again. So, we're energy. Michelle says, please, they have us not even wanting to help our own brothers and sisters when we see them in need. It's deep. Yeah, Michelle, that's a heartbreaking scenario. And yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because we're becoming more and more desensitized to a lot of what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? We laugh at situations that should be taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? I was watching some video the other day, and there was some people just, could barely stand up. They were so high off of some kind of drug, and they were on their way getting in a car to pull off and drive off, and people video recording laughing. I'm like, wow, what if they pull off and run into, hit somebody and kill them and stuff? You know what I'm saying? So matters that should be taken seriously, we don't even, we make it a joke. And again, I think that just is a mind shift. It's a mind, and that, again, we're chartering real dangerous territory, and we're living in some perilous times right now, very perilous times, and a lot of uncertainty. And if we don't get rooted, we're gonna find ourselves going down with those who aren't rooted. Yeah, that's just real. Only the strong survive. Hey, Crystal. Kimmy says, white folks haven't changed. Khalid Muhammad was absolutely correct. We have said that no one has been able to live with him in peace on the planet Earth. That's real. When you start studying who they are, that's another reason why it's a good reason to study. When you really start studying their history, do that. Study their history. You will understand that what he just said is factual. Everywhere they go on Earth, chaos follows. Death, destruction follows. I'm not saying that out of hate. I'm saying that out of factual, actual researched. You can go and look for yourself to prove that is true. So what are we doing here? We're trying to rub shoulders and become bosom buddies with those who are those who destroy, who seek to destroy. You know what I'm saying? If there is a God, then there must be an opposing force to God too. And we gotta understand that, Hey, Mustafa. Jabal says, we may have to form tent cities if things get out of control. Please purchase a tent, family. There's a lot. I think, the main core for me is for us to start loving each other more. And we can't do that unless we love ourselves first. I think that's why you see a whole lot of back and forth on social media, and we can't even have a discourse without people cussing each other out, calling them out their name. We quick the gender wars. The women are talking about what the men ain't doing, and the men talking about what the women ain't doing. All that, for me, shows me a lack of love for oneself. Because what happens is, when you really, truly, and genuinely love yourself, you express that outwardly. You begin as other people will begin to feel that energy that's exuding from you. So if every time you turn around, you cussing somebody out, you cussing one of your brothers and sisters out, or you talking about what they ain't doing right, and you dogging them and all that stuff, then that, for me, shows me how you really feel about yourself. That's real. Jeanette, yes, we are. Hey, James, Crystal, James says, not evolving, educating, disciplining, seeking truth, and living in the lie we've been living in as opposed to loving our children. Yeah, if we really, really genuinely loved our children, we would set them up better. We would make sure. And a lot of this family, and I hope I don't feel like I'm like beating up on people. That's not my intent. I promise you, it's not. Because I understand a lot of it is just lack of understanding. Our people don't know. Our people don't have the information. We creatures of habit, and we get into routine, right? So we go to work. You know what I'm saying? We come home, we cook, we got help the children with the homework. You know what I'm saying? We turn our favorite show on sometime to wind down. You know what I'm saying? And we go to sleep, and we wake up, and we do that all over again. So that is a lot of our daily routine out here. So a lot of us don't grant ourselves the time to really get to understand things on a deeper level. You know what I'm saying? So it just is. That's just how it is. But so it's not that we're dumb and our people are stupid and don't want nothing out of life and all that stuff. It's just that we don't have the information. And that's the importance of those out here that have the platform to be able to give that information to those who don't. Don't beat them up because they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? You just share what you have. Just share what you have, and that way your brother and sister too can be up on game. So we got to get back to loving one another and wanting better for one another and not hoarding information. Some folks out here will, have the information and don't want to share it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do nothing with it anyway. Or I'm looking out for mines and being mines. And, they really actually hoard information. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's not what it was for. Somebody gave it to you. Ain't no such thing as self-taught. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no such thing as self-made. No, you know what I'm saying? Your mother and father molded you, your school teachers, those you come in contact with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? The shows you watch on TV. I mean, all that came folded in the books you read. The books you read are from human beings, individuals, and their stories and their sense of understanding the world. So all of that is collectively made you who you are. So who are you to take the information you got from other people and hoard it and keep it to yourself? And there's other people out here whose lives can be changed for the better if you shared it with them. So don't hoard information, family. Kim says most of today's masses continue to suffer from the forced upon abortion of our culture. Yeah. Hey Rhonda, hey Shanti, James, Mustafa says our rise is absolutely imminent in this hour. Oh my gosh, you just made me feel so good with that comment. Because I believe that with all my heart and soul. I don't care what's going on around me. You know what I'm saying? I know where our power lies. A lot of you may not know, but I know from whom and which my power derives from. And when you understand that, you know what I'm saying, the Creator is the strongest force. The Creator is the strongest force, and you are that force. And when you get that, you know that, you know what I'm saying, it's only a matter of time before we get the understanding enough to be able to place ourselves in heaven at once. Because that's all, we're striving for, really. Heaven on earth, the hereafter. That ain't dead somewhere and gone up in the sky. That's spookism. The hereafter is right here on earth after an appointed time, after a certain rule, after some things take place. And we'll find ourselves in a better position. And I believe that with all my heart and soul. Why? Because history tells me that. History tells me that. And if history always repeats, every great nation must fall. Every one that ever existed, that you ever read about in your history books have fallen. And America is no different. America is no different. And you shouldn't be scared of that. That should excite you. Really. Let's see. James, because if we're not feeding them life, we're feeding them death in all shapes and forms. That's real. Ain't no in between. Hey Frank, we are dependent on them. Hey Sonia. Frank said that's because we made to feel guilty to look out for each other while everyone else does it all the time. Racism is a team sport. You know what I used to say? I still say, if I was a white woman in America, I'd be racist too. let me explain that. I'd be racist too. When you understand, like Frank just mentioned, it's a team sport, and when you understand this thing called race, you understand that it's a survival mechanism. You know what I'm saying? So if your team, in order for your team to survive and to stay alive and to thrive, you got to keep the other team from winning. Okay? So, that's why this whole kumbaya, this Milton Pot, this American dream, this all come together, link arms, and that's not natural. It's not reality. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm getting off track here. I'm going to come back to what you said, Frank. But to my point, just look at the earth. Everything in nature takes to its own. Everything in nature. You don't see bluebirds hanging out with pigeons. You know what I'm saying? You don't see ants having a party with beetles. You know what I'm saying? Everything in nature takes to its own, and we do too. So you see China over there with Chinese, and you see India with the Indians, you see Africa with the Africans, you see Europe with the Europeans, and here we are in America. Where every walk of life trying to be equal in this one society. That is the most unnatural thing, in my opinion, and based on all my study and research, and what I've concluded is that what we're attempting to do is defy the laws of nature when we try to kumbaya and integrate and all come. Even the integration part, look, you know what I'm saying? The churches are still, you know what I'm saying? When you go to church, 9, you know what I'm saying, out of 10 of the people at your church look like you. You know what I'm saying? If you really being honest and frank and honest with yourself, if you go into a room, most of us, because some of us have been conditioned out of this, but if you go into a room and you the black person and you go into a room full of white people, your first thought gonna be uncomfortable. What the first thing you gonna do is scan that room to look for somebody that look like you. That's a natural response. Okay, so when we in this society really trying to link arms and be all cohesive and stuff, and why we get so much pushback and backlash and racism and, you know what I'm saying, and fighting and all that kind of stuff, and because we trying to defy the laws of nature. That's what I believe. So racism is a team sport. So yeah, going back to my initial point was, yeah, I would be racist because I would want my team to be on top. That's just real. I would want my team to be on top by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And when we understand racism in that way, we don't take it so personally. We don't get so offended. Oh, okay, I know you looking out for yours. We get mad if white people don't hire us over their own. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? You're just like, why would you? Why would they do that? You know what I'm saying? Why would they look out for you over their own brother and sister? That's just like we should do that. We should look out for each other over anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Again, that for me, I think that's just a natural way. That's just a natural order. But we've been conditioned out of that. We've been up under these people's thumb for so long that we really, you know what I'm saying? We really, our whole natural way of responding to things is off. We off-centered. Hey Mustafa, the systematic unraveling of the world powers before us demands our rise to the occasion to assume the position of our great destiny. In everything there are signs. In everything there are signs. And our goal and our purpose should be to learn how to read them. Learn how to read the signs. And you can, and once you get closer to the source, you know, when you get closer to the source, you learn how to read signs. So Mustafa, good point. Emma, Crystal, Jeanette, Kemet, yeah. And you know, and I knew just a lot of European, and I stay on them too. You know, if you follow me, you will realize that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? What I tend to do deliberately is to do to them what they did to us. You know what I'm saying? But with truth. I ain't gotta lie. You know, where they tore us down in so many ways outside of physical. You know what I'm saying? They have the whole world thinking we a minstrel show, and you know, blackface, and you know, with monsters, and they were treated, you know, inhumanely and things like that. And what I do is I just flip the script. Okay, I don't have time to sit around and expose our own dirty laundry. And I know we have it. You know what I'm saying? I get that. We have it. But that's not my purpose, my mission. My mission is to expose who they are. You know what I'm saying? So you can better understand what you're up against and who you're dealing with. You know, if we continue to keep talking and bashing ourselves and bashing each other and exposing all the things that we do wrong and try that, how does that help to lift us? You know what I'm saying? Because when one side falls like a seesaw, if one nation is falling, another must rise. So I want to be amongst those who's rising. So I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, every time you turn around exposing the worst in us. You know what I'm saying? It's enough of that going on. They do that enough already. I don't need to add to that. So let me expose who you are, really. And I ain't even got to lie about it. All I got to do is present the truth. You know? Beat them. Another thing my father used to say, and I reference him a lot because he was the strongest force in my life as it related to wisdom. He was so wise. And I'm just not saying that because he was my father. People who knew him just, you know, gleaned from him. And he used to always say, beat their asses with the truth. That's all you need. That's your most powerful weapon, really. Beat them with the truth. Oh, history best rewards all research. Yeah, Harry-O. Sankofa. White folks thrive off panic. I refuse to participate in this panic. We will always survive. We will always be the last people standing. We are battle tested. We need to continue to live and focus on true reality. Ashe, another excellent point. I agree with you 1,000%. Frank said we have to be willing to meet people where they are, where they at, and have an open mind. I'm not sure what he meant by that. The ego takes pride in assuming that we're smarter than others. Okay, that's where you're going with that. There's a difference between being smart and being wise. And wisdom usually comes with experience. And we have more life experience than any other people on earth because we're original. So I'll just leave it there. Sankofa says some people are uncomfortable with truth. That is true. Some people don't want information. I conserve my energy and interact with those who appreciate the information. We adults are all responsible for ourselves. Okay. For ourselves, community, secondly. Okay, Sankofa. I mean, you know, I'll push back on that a little bit just because I understand that we all need each other. And for me, that sounds a little self-centered to me. you know, and I know that I am because of you. You know what I'm saying? And those around me. And so I can't take that position in life, not comfortably. But thanks for sharing your point. Hey Jeanette, Corey. Mustafa says the sincerity of your passion, spirit, love, and energy for the rise of your people is commendable. We salute you, Black Queen. Salute right back to you, Mustafa. And I'm about to get off this thing because I know I've been on here for a minute. Hey Kofi, Kemet, I just want to make sure all your points are made. Although black folks were here before the condition of slavery arrived, we need to instill in our youth that no slave were brought to America. White folks forcefully brought mathematicians, scientists, spiritual scholars, teachers, mothers, fathers, and children that would be forced into the condition of slavery. Good point. Another good point, Kemet. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We weren't nomads, ignorant people with bones stuck in our noses and, you know what I'm saying, foraging on the ground with, you know what I'm saying, when we were brought here. Who built this society? You know what I'm saying? You could close the case with that one point right there. Who built this society? You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, one of the greatest problems is that we continue to demonize the black woman who is key to our regaining balance, Kemet. Good points on the stream today, Kemet. And I thank you so much for taking up for our sisters out here. This society fosters individualist thinking. Yes, we do. Not collective thinking or village mentality. As soon as someone gets a bag, they move from our community and compete. Even in rap music, it's I can have your woman, etc. Yeah, that is learned behavior, Jabal. Like you said, the village that we originate from is no more. We're here now in this individualistic society where individualism rules. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna get mine. You gotta get yours. Brother upstream just got finished saying that. You know what I'm saying? I get the knowledge for me, basically, and everybody else got to get it for themselves. And that's learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is it causes fragmentation. So we become fragmented because now I'm looking at you as a formidable force. I'm looking at you as my competition. I'm not looking at you as my brother or sister, but we can come together and link arms and go together, you know, be stronger. I'm looking at you like, you know what I'm saying, I got to keep something away from you because if you get it, then that's going to hurt me. And that's learned behavior. We learn that from those whose culture is individualism. Like everything else we learned, like the words that I'm speaking right now are not my mother's tongue. You know what I'm saying? I had to go to school to learn that. You know, I had to go to school to learn how to dress and, you know what I'm saying, the laws of this land and how to obey them in this society and all the things that we do on a regular day-to-day basis. We've learned from the dominant society, you know? So that's why I keep harping on it's time for us to get back to the root. Get back to the root of who we are. Because right now, we are not who we are at the core. We are walking around, we are actually Europeans in black skin. You know, we're Europeans in black skin. And it takes a mental shift. And if you don't understand that, then you think you're okay. You think what you're doing is good. You think, you know what I'm saying, my name is Bobby Smith, without understanding where that Smith come from. That's why history is so important to get. You know what I'm saying? You keep going back with the Smith and the Williams and the Thomases and the whomever, and you're going to find out where you got that name from. You know what I'm saying? So we carry on the same European behaviors as what we were stamped with. So and it's time to shed all that. You know what I'm saying? Why would you want to be like a European if you're not European? You know, so that's where I think we should be getting back to, so our children can better cope in this world. You know, we're right now, it's like a dog trying to be a cat. Dog could never be a cat, not properly. that cat gonna run circles around that dog every time, because its nature is to be a cat. And here you are stepping into the nature of a cat when you ain't even that. You know, so all the ramifications that come along with that. And that's where we find ourselves today. You know what I'm saying? We're attempting to be like the European in every way, but we're not. We're not them. And so we keep beating our head up against the wall because we won't get back to who we are naturally. Yeah, and we don't understand the beauty of that. A lot of us run from Africa. You know, the thought of Africa, we don't want to go there. We'd rather spend our money in Europe. You know, we want to go to Paris and France for vacation and all that kind of stuff before we would even consider Africa, when that is our root. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't even want to claim Africa. I ain't from there. I'm here. I'm from America. I was here. You know what I'm saying? We don't know that either. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? All you know is what was taught to you. You know? So to say that you were from here and you was never brought over here from Africa, how do you know? You know? But anyway, I'm ranting now. I'm getting off of this thing. Family, thank you for sharing this afternoon with me. This beautiful sunny afternoon. And I hope that you guys' spirits are lifted. Take care of each other out there. You know, my whole my desire for us all is to root for one another. Be in each other's corner. If you want to bash on somebody, bash on this beast. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take some of your negative or angry or frustration energy out, take it out on them. You know what I'm saying? Don't take it out on your own brother and sister. We need to encourage one another more. You know, we need to encourage one another more so we can rise and love on them children. Please love on the babies. They need it so much. All right, family, I'm gonna get off of here now. All right, take care of each other out there. Peace and love.